What's going on, everybody? Dr. Thompson here, Exemplify Health Center, Wellness Way affiliate, Yorkville, Illinois. Hope you guys are having a great Sunday. It's a little bit after 1 o'clock. And let's give you a little bit of more peace, less stress heading into your week, coming into the holidays. Hope you guys had a great weekend. I am getting ready right now to go out and finish up putting some Christmas lights up. I know what you're thinking. Isn't it a little bit too early? And I don't care. I have time to do it. I want to do it. And yes, it might be too early for some. Heck, it might be too late for some people. And one of the great things is no matter what you do, you're going to never make 100% of the people happy about that. So I'm going to put up some Christmas lights because I want to, all right? And don't try to talk me out of doing it because I've made up my mind and I want to do it. Which leads me to this. So many times, let's get serious. So there's so many times people will come to me and they will say this. And usually it's the woman who says, you know what? I really have to get my husband in here. My husband needs so much help. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't want to change. He's sick. He's unhealthy. He's just heading down a wrong path. And, I need you to talk some sense into him. Coming from one guy, who's a man himself, a lot of times I will look at the woman and I say, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. So really, if you want more peace in your life, guys, I'm gonna tell you this. Stop trying to think that you can change people, okay? Stop trying to think that you can change people. Holy cow. I will tell you this. People are never going to change until they've decided that they're ready to change. So, but they're not going to decide they're going to change necessarily with facts, with nagging, with discipline, with punishment. People are truly going to change. And what I mean by change is I mean a permanent change until they have reached their precipice, with that precipice of destruction. That's going to look different for a lot of different people. For some people, it's going to be too late, okay? Heck, I've even known people diagnosed with cancer and they won't change anything about their life. And so even, a cancer diagnosis isn't going to change them. Even a heart disease, having a heart attack, sometimes it's not going to change them. So everyone comes to this precipice a little bit differently. It's kind of like if you remember the Bounty paper towel commercial, where they were showing how strong Bounty was compared to other paper towel companies. And so what they would do is they would take the paper towel, I think they would wet it, and then they would start adding pool balls, that you play pool with, billiards ball. And they would add it, and, it would get to 8 or 9, and then finally the paper towel would break. Well, that's kind of like with the human condition, meaning, we add these stressors on and we don't change, but there's always something that's going to get us to a breaking point. See, like even for me, if you rewind to 10, 11 years ago, I knew I was doing some pretty sassy behavior, but I always thought, you know what, I'm young, I still got time, I'll change it, eventually. Right now I'm too busy, kids, office, all of that, I'm going to change it. But I reached that precipice pretty quickly when my own dad was diagnosed with cancer, and it was an absolute light switch. I changed, I just needed my habits to catch up with it. I changed up here. So there's so many times, guys, where you're stressing out because people aren't listening to you. And you are thinking that somehow your words have so much meaning and so much value to that person that you're stressing yourself out because they're not changing. So therefore, you're taking it personally. Therefore, you're getting mad at that person. And guys, when it comes to change, no one changes until they decide to change. So I guess what I'm trying to say is quit giving yourself too much credit that you can change people, And also stop giving yourself too much blame when you realize that you can't, okay? So a lot of times I will tell the woman, I say this, and this is what I'm going to tell you too. If you really want to change people, change yourself. Let me say that again. If you really want to change people, excuse me, not COVID, change yourself. Become a shining light for other people. And one of the things you're going to notice is those people are going to start to get curious. They're going to say, wow, I've noticed you made a lot of changes. Tell me more. And it's then and only then when they're curious enough to want to know the changes that's taken place, that they'll actually listen, okay? But if you want to turn a lot of people off, you want people to avoid you, if you want people angry at you, try to change them when they're not ready. My wife, she is a master at this because she realized he ain't going to change until he's ready to change. So how do you change people, okay? Because I realize, even for me, if they're not going to listen to you, they're not going to listen to me because I'm only an extension of you, and they're just going to be mad and angry. Now, I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I thought all it takes is me to say the right thing or to show them what their future is. And when people weren't ready to change, they ended up really not liking me, okay? So even though I was telling them the truth, they didn't like me because they weren't ready to change. So guys, if you want less stress, quit thinking that you have the ability and you have the power to be able to change people, really. All you're doing is you're stressing yourself out, you're wrecking, and you're ruining relationships. And what you need to do instead is be patient, change your own life, allow people to get curious, and then have them follow what you do. That's how you play the long game, and not trying to get everybody to change according to your schedule. People will change according to their schedule, and yes, sometimes there's a tragic consequence to that, but it's the only way that people are ever going to change. So start living a life that is worthy of people becoming curious and worthy that they can actually start to follow or even want to follow. Because guys, there are so many health gurus out there. I'm going to tell you this, health gurus out there that when it comes to just some basic health markers, they haven't been able to accomplish in their own life as well. There's some health coaches that haven't taken a solid bowel movement in 10 years. There's some health coaches that don't have a bowel movement, at least 1 or 2 times every single day. There's people who are health coaches who haven't been able to figure out their own inflammatory issues, their weight loss issues. They haven't been able to figure that out. And people see that and they say, well, you have a lot of great information, but you know what? Why would I want to follow you? What you're saying makes sense, but it doesn't sync up with what is happening with your own health and your own life. And so this is why I always had figured out, if I want to change people, change yourself, and then allow people to get curious. And when they ask, be able to provide an amazing answer. They still might not even follow you at that point, but they sure as heck aren't going to be angry at you for trying to push them in a direction that you don't want to go, okay? So this is why I've been able to change a lot of people's lives. When they come in and they're ready, I'm there to help them. However, if they're not ready to change, guess what? I don't have a pity party. I don't take it home. I don't get upset. I don't get sad. In fact, I don't even hurt for them. I don't grieve for them either. They're in charge of their own life. And so that's why if I got upset at the number of people who didn't change, even though they thought they were ready, I would have a miserable life. I would have a miserable existence because I would take it home. I would take it home, and it would bother me, and it would start affecting relationships with family, with friends. It would start affecting, with relationships with people who truly love me. Okay, so stop stressing out about people you can't change. You can't change them. Live a life worthy of them becoming curious, and then be ready to show them the way. All right. So just remember, guys, you can't change people. You can't change it. But start living a life that people start to want. They start to want that life. Okay, so I'm going to go out and put some Christmas lights up. Not going to change my mind. Maybe I won't turn them on until the approved date after Thanksgiving. But just remember is that hopefully, guys, that will help you with some of your stress levels. Here's another thing that I'm doing now. I'm 18 hours into a fast. So I made the mistake of agreeing with Dr. Patrick Flynn and a couple of guys of doing a 6-day water fast. I didn't realize it started today. I'm like, oh man, I didn't mentally prepare for this. So I'm going to be doing a 6-day fast. I won't be able to eat until Friday evening. So it's basically water, coffee, which I don't drink, and just a lot of minerals. So it's going to be interesting. This is the 4th fast that I've done this year, but I've never gone as long as 6 days. I've gone 5 days. I haven't gone 6. So this is going to be probably a little bit painful, but I may even check my blood markers towards the end of the fast just to see what my blood markers look like. So before you ask, oh, should I fast? Who should fast? I know that I can fast. I've checked my blood markers. There's certain people who just should, fasting is not in their best interest. Okay, so I'm not advocating for fasting. I'm doing it because it's hard, it's difficult, and it will help me obviously up here more than it will help with health and things like that. So just remember, guys, anything that I recommend, I've already done it, or I'm doing it right along with you. And I think that's what doctors should be doing, especially for their patients. So how do you get people to change? Start living it. Start living it and live a life worthy of other people's curiosity. All right. Hopefully, guys, that helped you with your mental stress Monday. Have a great week. Coming up tomorrow night, I'll be doing a live on, is it adrenal fatigue or is it inflammation? Because I think we have a lot of this backwards. We think everything is adrenal fatigue, but I'm going to show you how your hormones respond to inflammation, and one of the symptoms is fatigue. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest of your Sunday. I will not be watching football. I think it's a complete waste of time. Instead, I'll be putting up Christmas lights. All right. Be well, guys. We'll talk to you soon.